etc. But then Metasport on their T side really played a fantastic game, it has to be said.
Agreed.
And eventually they got it over the line. A couple hiccups, right? We had some tech pauses. I think that threw them off their flow. And that allowed Namiga to just squeeze out those 2 or 3 rounds that they needed to secure an overtime. But at the end of the day, Metasport showing why, you know, it is indeed their pick. Now we move on to the Anubis. This one gets a little weirder for me, to be honest, because I think based on what we've seen, Metasport, for the majority of that game, felt like the better team, felt like they had a bit more depth. Meanwhile, Namiga, not so consistent. And now we move on to this weird map where neither team's really that great at it. Neither team really plays it all that much. There's a bit of recency bias in here. Namiga played it yesterday and had a win, so maybe they're just feeling good in that sense. I don't know. It's a weird pick.
Yeah, it is. It definitely feels like it's a little kind of off. And then, you know, when we last saw it get played by Metasport, which was 6 days ago, they beat NIP on it, right? 13-6. So then you look at the other side and you're like, well, you know, Metasport don't mind this map either. So I definitely feel like there's, you know, a bit of an inherent risk here, I think, in a weird way for Namiga. And it's not only just, obviously, the stats around the map and all these things that we would bring up. It's actually just about how the game felt and how it played out and sort of what went wrong for an Namiga side who looked so off their game for large portions and majorities. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a weird spot that they're in, right? I feel like, you know, Metasport, even though this map is, you know, a little bit of recency bias, sure, in a way for Namiga, I still probably favor Metasport here just because I think generally it felt like they had better ideas and at least a bit of a better consistency in terms of understanding of how to play off each other. It was so individually based for Namiga, and it very much could have been a much more closer first half if Metasport were a little bit more awake. You could just see they were very much off their game. So, yeah, I don't know what to expect, right? I think, you know, a couple of shout-outs deservedly kind of coming through. I think, you know, Plopsky had some really nice moments in that first map. Good to see from him. Hopefully we can get a little bit more out of it as well. I think, honestly, the only thing we're really looking at for me is probably just like a tiny bit more out of Adam B, and I think we're actually chilling. I think the Lumi had his moments. He wasn't always consistent. I don't think he's going to be called up as much, especially when Khan on the other side is so relentless. The rifling call was great. You know, Plopsky has moments. Hampers has moments as well, right? I feel like just a tiny bit more out of Adam B, and he can join up alongside Isaac in the supporting roles. And I think this is a side who have a lot to give here and are going to make life very, very difficult, especially because Namiga did have some very evident internal woes. But we're heading in towards their map pick nonetheless. It is Anubis coming up next in map number 2. We're just about to start our map number 2 as the other game, Big and Heroic, is just about to go into map number 3, it seems.